Welcome back to Street Level Marketing. We are continuing our conversation with Jose Pereira. In this segment, we're talking about what happens when business feels like survival mode, something Jose knows all too well from his own experience. Many entrepreneurs feel trapped, whether it's by financial struggles, tough markets, or failed strategies. Jose draws parallels between surviving captivity and navigating crisis in business. Jose, what parallels do you see between surviving captivity and surviving a business crisis?
I have a speech that is called the 4X tools for growth your leadership experience. And I give four tools that are key in any situation. I call them the R.D.E.A.L. The R is the resilience. We'll really talk about that. The D is the determination, and the A is the adaptability, and the L is the leadership. There are two things. There is not only the resilience, the determination, and the adaptability. Because you can be resilient, but if you don't have determination, it doesn't work. Because the determination is like the fuel when you go in the gas station and you fuel your the pump of the tank of your car. That's what is the determination. That keeps you infusing that to keep going. No matter how many times you fall or fail, you will keep going. And the adaptability is so key in today's world. A leader needs to be adapted to the situation. This is one of the biggest mistakes that a leader does, that when they're having a failure, they try to keep going the same direction. And that is insane, because maybe you had to revisit everything, and maybe you had to make some shift in your leadership journey. And that's what a true adaptability leader does. The adaptability is not only for the leader, it's for the whole organization. But the first person that had to do is the leader, because the leader is going to spread all over the organization, to the organization to be adaptable. And that leadership, I always say that you can be a leader, but you're going to be really tested when something is happening in your life. When something is pushing outside your comfort zone is where you're going to discover if you're a true leader or not. That's going to be tested.
Yeah. How do leaders keep hope alive when things seem impossible?
The faith. I talked about the faith in God and the faith in you, but the faith in God is so important, because I always say, if you have, there's a difference between the baggage and a luggage, because the baggage is a heavy, and people try to carry the baggage in their shoulder, and God says, give that big luggage, the baggage to me, but carry your baggage, because the baggage is your dreams. That's what you really need to carry, your dreams, because so many people get lost without reaching their dreams, and maybe they can be near to them because they don't continue going. So the people that are hearing this, you have to pursue your dream, but you need to have faith, because the faith is what gonna keep you grounded and believing what you haven't seen yet, because that's the way the faith works. When you really believe that something, that you know that you have a purpose, you know that you have a calling, you know that you really believe that you're going to be there, do it. No matter how long it will take, no matter how many times you're going to fall and fail, no matter anything, do it, because that's what the faith does.
Yeah. What strategies can entrepreneurs use to stay calm under pressure?
Well, there are many things. That one of the first things that I always say, that the people have to get calm and focused under any circumstance. And you have been a firefighter, you know that being calm and focused is key for you guys. If you don't be calm and focused, no matter what, you can be in the middle of a fire. That's a good metaphor. But you have to be calm and focused in the situation. Okay, I had to do
Yeah.
this. I
I,
had to do. That's what will give you clarity and strategy.
yeah. And that one, and another thing, I think there's always some like confusion, like even as a firefighter, you're not calm. It's still chaotic. It's just how you handle that chaos. It's a
Mm-hmm,
controlled chaos, and that takes
mm-hmm,
training and and practice and
Mhm.
but the chaos is still there when you're fired.
Of course,
You know?
you because that is the point that the cows will be always there.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in the middle of the cows, but you're gonna be in the middle in a calm and focused way. And another thing is try to maintain a positive mindset because everything is here. No matter
Mhm.
what is the circumstance, you can be positive even in a dark moment. Even in a dark moment.
How do you know when it's time to fight harder versus when it's time to pivot?
Oh, that's a good question. Walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
Walking in your purpose because sometimes, and let me tell you, in part of my training, I confront the leaders to answer themselves. And I have some people that have called me after that they decided to change their line of business because they discovered that what they were doing was not their calling. And now they're doing another thing and they feel passion because when you are doing what you really want to do, you will feel the passion.
Mhm.
There's not going to be a burnout because you're doing because you love what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if you're miserable, whether you're 20, 30, or 50, if you're miserable what you're doing, you find that thing that makes you passionate. We're all here such a very short time. And, you got to do the things that you love and put your mind to something. I truly believe you really can put your mind to what you want to do and do it.
Let me give you a 5 second a short story. During my
Yeah.
captivity, we were 6 guys. One of my colleagues, in 5 years you talk a lot with the people. You have a lot of time to talk. Okay, so you really learn about the story of it. This guy, he was interesting because he was my coworker. He was one of my vice president, but I didn't know his story. His story was that when he was young, he was a musician and he played with a lot of very very professional rock bands. And I told him, Jorge, why you quit? They said, well, I got graduated as engineer. My father wanted me to begin to work. I began in the oil and gas, and now I'm here 35 years after, here in a prison. And he told me, when I come back, I would love to become musician. And you know what he's doing today? He
Amazing.
created a music company and he became musician
Yeah.
and he's enjoying it.
Yeah. Now, did you going a little off topic? Were there any things that you learned prior to your captivity that helped you while you were there?
Well, my positive mindset. This is
Uh,
something that I already had. That, to tell you the truth, I was a guy always being positive, and I believe that helped me. But one of the most important things that I rediscovered because I didn't have was faith in God. I have abandoned God and I discovered God in that prison. For me today, my faith is everything.
yeah. How important is communication during a business crisis, both internally and externally?
Communication is key in any moment. In a crisis, is key because this is the way you can transmit anything that is going. Because the communication, remember, is not only you going, is also hearing. It's talking and hearing. And in a crisis, if you're a leader, you have to be a good communicator. By the way, all the great leaders in the world are good communicators. But that's
Hmm.
why most of them are speakers because they really know how to communicate. And this is key in any crisis.
What role does adaptability play in navigating a long-term crisis?
Well, I mentioned it. For me, adaptability is a secret sauce.
Yeah.
Those leaders that really have the mindset to be adapted no matter how the circumstance is going are going to be the guys that are going to be successful. And today world is key. Those leaders that doesn't have the mindset to be adaptable, unfortunately, they're going to fail.
Yeah. Well, how can leaders prepare their teams before a crisis ever happens?
Having good communication, being empathetic with them, understanding, you need to know your team. One of the things that I discovered during my captivity, as I said, we were 6 guys. We were not friends. We knew our story, and we began to interact and we began to know the story of each other. So we begin to be more empathetic, knowing where everybody came from. And that's exactly what a leader has to do in the business. Know your people, Know your manager, know your team, know your employees. Maybe it's a big company, you don't have to know everybody, but try to have a knowledge of the people that surround, and the people that's near to you. You really had to be empathic with them, because you are gonna be people. You're gonna be a human being, and that's gonna connect with them.
Yeah. Well, we're out of time for this segment, but coming up in our final segment, we're going to talk to Jose on how to lead with courage in an uncertain world when we come back.